Tonight, we are hearing more from Michael Thompson. A judge sentenced him to at least 42 years in prison, even though he reached a plea deal with prosecutors for probation. The governor commuted his sentence, and yesterday he was released after spending nearly 25 years in prison on a marijuana charge. We brought you Thompson's story last night at 6 o'clock, and now 24 hours after his release, he spoke to 13 on Your Side's Emma Nicholas about his first hours of freedom and what he plans to do next.
A lot can change in a day.
I mean, I slept in a real bed last night, and it was so good.
For 69-year-old Michael Thompson, his reality for nearly 25 years completely shifted Thursday.
It's nothing like freedom.
Because at 4 a.m., he walked out of the doors of a Jackson prison facility.
And I ain't used to this kind of love, I'm used to a lot of hate. Living in prison, living in hate.
Thompson was in prison for charges that stemmed from a marijuana sale in 1994. He had prior drug offenses and police found guns in his home, so a judge sentenced him to 42 to 60 years, a length of time usually reserved for second-degree murder charges, said Attorney General Dana Nessel in a letter calling for his release last year. She was one of many who joined the call.
Showed me there was a lot of love out there for me.
Thompson is now back home in Flint, overwhelmed by his freedom, he says, reunited with family who he had stopped letting visit him because it was too hard.
My mother even passed, and I wouldn't let her come. My son passed. I was my best friend, my only son. So just think about it, I was dealing with some things.
But from the second he left the prison doors, he started thinking of those he left behind.
They asked me to not leave him. That's all. Let's hear all the voices.
It's why he already has plans to make moves on prison reform, especially for those serving time for marijuana-related crimes.
And they still in prison. Why? Why are you wasting all this money on people you got locked up for marijuana?
He says he hears a lot of talk about reform, but not much action. He hopes to change that.
I just want an opportunity to be a voice to the voiceless, who the voices I hear in my head, who the voices that in all these prisons I've been in, I hear them. It's now I want to tell the people, talk to the people. I don't want to talk to nobody but the people.
Emma Nicholas, 13 on Your Side.